Greetings and a very happy and healthy KMI Community Connect wishes to all of you. We are going to be starting the metabolism made easy topic, which is follow up after where we left for the introduction last week. So today we have planned to talk about carbohydrates, fats, proteins, which are the macronutrients, and then minerals and vitamins, which are the micronutrients, and of course the water. So to have an understanding about what is a carbohydrate, what is a protein, what is a fat, what are the minerals, what are the vitamins, it's better to understand and relate what exactly are our bodies made of. So our bodies are basically made of carbon, oxygen, hydrogen and nitrogen. Carbon mostly coming from dietary energy, oxygen from the air, hydrogen from the water and nitrogen from dietary protein. So it gets very easy to understand when we relate both the food and the body together to have an understanding about what the food is, how the food gets distributed in the body. So and also I would like to quickly talk about the percentages of the carbohydrate, which is about 1% distribution in the body, fat which is about 10%, protein is about 20%, minerals are about 4%, and the maximum content of our body, which is water, which is about 65%. So why do we have to know about all this? Is you will have a better understanding if you relate these the food and the body based on our body composition. Let's talk about how we can relate this and translate this into a little bit of ecology, from an evolutionary perspective, an evolutionary biology perspective about the environment, how the whole system is designed. So let's look at plants first. Plants make their own energy from sunlight, which is all dietary energy that comes is trapped by the plants from sunlight, and these are called autotrophs because plants make their own energy. So plants use sunlight as the energy, and then with the help of they actually take in carbon dioxide, like most of us know from simple college biology or high school biology. The carbon dioxide that is taken in the form of air, CO2, and then they also take in water, which is H2, 2 hydrogen molecules and 1 oxygen molecule. And then so I have represented carbons as 2 reds and oxygen here, as well as 2 oxygens as red and carbon as black, and then 2 hydrogens here as blue, and then oxygen again here as red. So once that gets combined, you get what is called as carbohydrate by high energy bonds that forms between each 2 carbon atoms. I represented again this with sunlight, which is like high energy in the same color. So carbon energy, and then carbon hydrogen energy, which combines to form carbohydrates, which is a complex interlinking of high energy bonds, carbohydrate and then hydrocarbon. Carbohydrate is basically soluble, that gets dissolves in water. Hydrocarbon, which does not dissolve in water, and that is the fat. So anything that is dietary energy is basically carbohydrate and fat, which is made by plants, and all the dietary energy with these high energy bonds, which comes from solar energy, is trapped, and plants make this, and the animals and the human beings, which are called heterotrophs, that means we need to get this energy, the carbohydrate or the fat made by the plants, by feeding on either the plants or other animals. So human beings are like both herbivores, carnivores or omnivores, since we actually get all our diet either from plants or animals or both. Similarly, there are some animals which are just herbivores, which depend only on plants to get that carbohydrates and fats, and also the carnivores which just feed on other animals to get the carbohydrates and fats by feeding on other animals. So, what is the second part of that, which is what I called here as carbon, fat, and then the next one is the protein part, which is the most crucial and essential part of that. So far we have seen only carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, but now the most crucial part of this is the nitrogen, which is the N here that I see. The nitrogen plus the minerals that I show here: phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium, sulfur, chloride, bromine, zinc, iron, copper, manganese, molybdenum and various other minor elements. These are all absorbed by the plants from the soil and earth. So, most of the nitrogen and minerals are absorbed by the plants from the soil and earth, while the carbon, hydrogen and oxygen is coming trapped by the sunlight energy. So, this is below the ground and that's above the ground, and these again in turn make the protein and which is the nitrogen, because the only difference between a carbohydrate and fat is adding a nitrogen. So, the protein, in other words, I always put as nitrogen here because protein has nitrogen, and mineral pool is all coming from the soil, and that is adding it to the structure of the body of whether it is the animal or the human being. So, let us talk about our own composition once again. So, the humans, when we talk about the protein and mineral nutrient pool, that makes up about 20% of our body composition. So, all our muscles, our bones, most of our organs, a lot of them we have the calcium, the big framework that we have in our body is mostly all protein and minerals. So, that is like almost like our home. So, the energy part, which is only 10 or 11% if you add the carb and the fat, that's the energy part. And then the protein part, which is the structural and the functional part of our body, is much more than that, which is 20%. So, why is this important? Why are we talking about this composition of energy, which is the carbohydrates and fats, and the protein, which is 20%, which is more? Because imagine this like a home, which is the framework of your body, and you can never use this for energy unless it is for emergencies. So, this is the basic framework of your body. It is like your home, your windows, your doors, your roof, your walls, your floor, everything is this. So, this generally is not for energy usage on a daily basis. What is used for energy usage on a daily basis is the carbohydrate and the hydrocarbon, which is the fat, which is about 10%. So, just like our diet, if we look at our bodies, when we see the ratios, if you have a protein to energy ratio, to have a perfect healthy body and a perfect metabolic function, if you maintain a higher protein to energy ratio, which means the energy that you take in terms of carbohydrates and fats should be less than the protein content of your body. That means the protein content dominates, then you maintain a good muscular function, and most of the chronic metabolic disorders that we see, which is about more weight gain or fat gain, will not happen. So, if energy increases than the protein energy part of the body, the energy content of the body, the non-protein energy part of the body is going up, then you get more fat, and in the process what happens is water redistributes, water level goes down and the fat becomes more in the body. In other words, the minerals and the protein are primary, because you never use by your energy by breaking down your protein content of the body for your daily use of energy. So you have to preserve this, which means you preserve the muscle, the bone, and keep your bodies very stronger. You will understand this more when I talk about underweight, which is loss of muscle, or overweight, which is less muscle or less protein with more fat. That is what is going to happen mostly in most of the chronic metabolic disorders, which leads to a higher non-protein energy ratio, which means the energy part is more than the protein energy part. So the non-protein energy part increases, which means the carbohydrate and fat content increases. So in summary, why am I talking about all this? If you see, everything has a very fine percent of distribution, and when you start talking about nutrition and how we address this, everything has a very fine percent like carbohydrates, fats, proteins, and if we stick to that particular percentage of our nutritional habits based on how these are distributed in our body, we will be doing a much better job in terms of having a good metabolic flexibility and also having a good metabolic health. So our job here at KMI Community Connect is mostly to make this knowledge of understanding and relating the body composition, the food and everything that you see here, carbohydrates, fats, minerals, and how they are distributed, and how simple this can be while we relate it to the environment and how we depend on the plants or how we depend on the animals, and how it is how these percentages of protein, carbohydrates and fats are distributed, and how minerals are very important along with the proteins to maintain the structure and function of the body. This understanding is very, very, very primal and important for us to get into more details later about specific macronutrients like carbohydrates, fats and proteins. So I will be talking about carbohydrates and fats more in detail, and also proteins in my coming topics. Thank you very much. I'll see you very soon.